Alongside Elijah Campbell on that piano, I'm Jay Phillips. I just sing.
All the lyrics that have been sung so far.
That's right. That's what I'm here for, my man. That's what I'm here for. I'm Jay Phillips. Good to see you. We got a quick show today, but we're going to have a lot of fun with this. At least I hope so. Elijah and I have something fun planned that we'll start up here in just a bit. We'll give you we'll set it up, but we will only be here for, I think officially we have to be out at 3:40, something like that, 3:41.
Yeah, that out time's probably going to be about a good 5 minutes before the baseball game airs.
So we won't be here very long. But
here for a good time, not a long time.
That's right, and it should be today. But we love college football. We have something that has been in the news this week, and we had a poll question on it yesterday, and then I threw out the poll question again today because I was like, man, I only did it for an hour yesterday. It was a flash poll that Elijah and I put up. Sorry,
threw up.
We did throw it up there. I don't like to say that. I don't want people to get the wrong
we threw up in the studio.
Imagery, yeah.
We've all been there before.
Yeah. Well, I've never thrown up in this studio. But have I thrown up in a studio? You know what? I'm not going to answer that question.
You're going to plead the fifth?
Yeah.
My former employers aren't even the same time zone as here, so I can't admit that, yes, I have.
Yeah, no, I will say I have not. I have come to work feeling poorly, but I've never hurled while at work. Anyway, let's move on.
Before we gross out the entire
I know how to
audience.
do that. Where was I? We'll get to the poll question here in just a second.
You flashed people with the poll.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what you called it, right?
That's right. Baseball coming up. Carolina and Milwaukee. Dylan Eskew takes the hill today. Compared to the other two guys, Dylan Eskew may as well get cut from the team, man. I mean, he's got a 1.8 ERA. The others, goose eggs.
Yeah.
So
hard to be better than zero.
Yeah. So Dylan's got some work to do today to try.
He's got to catch up.
He can't catch up.
He can't. Not possible.
He has now given up earned runs, so he can no longer have a 0 ERA. But
he can best his strikeout total though.
He can, and that's part of our over under contest, isn't it? 28.5 strikeouts is our over under contest from Gamecock Traditions. You can enter at 1075thegame.com, and you pick over or under 28.5. That's a big number.
I'm still going over.
Big number, but they have been striking out a lot of batters.
I'm trying to do the math in my head. How many is that per game?
It's a little over 9 per game, man. That's a lot of strikeouts.
That's a lot. Yeah.
That's a lot of strikeouts.
Can be done.
It can be done
because they only struck out 45 against Sacred Heart last weekend.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was that. Well,
it was. I think all three starters had at least 9.
Yeah.
45 to 4 strikeout walk ratio.
But you can do that at 1075thegame.com. We'll have baseball today, tomorrow night, Carolina and Texas in men's basketball. It's the late game, 8:30 Eastern time tip. And Dawn's team back in action on Sunday. That'll be on 98.5. They go to Vandy, which is, I think, going to be – I mean, the way Carolina played last night, you say, oh, they're fine. They got it all back on track. Arkansas is not very good.
Yes,
and that's me.
Team in the SEC.
That's me being kind, but I try to be kind. It's college athletics after all. But Arkansas is not very good, and South Carolina should have won by 40 points or so, and they did. But Vandy is ranked, and Carolina at least has obviously shown some vulnerabilities of late, and can people get in on that? We shall see. And by the way, congratulations to all players and staffers of the New York Yankees. Elijah, you would now be eligible to play as you look.
Yes.
For the New York Yankees. For those of you who have never seen a picture of Elijah, Elijah has a full beard.
Oh, yeah.
And hair that goes to just above his shoulders.
It was below the shoulders for
It was. You got a haircut.
Yeah, I got a cut.
You got a haircut.
Still long, though.
But for decade upon decade, the New York Yankees did not allow their baseball players or coaches and certain staff members, I don't know where they draw the line at the staff, beyond the uniformed staff. But you couldn't have facial hair, or at least you couldn't have a beard. You could have a trimmed mustache, and that was about it, and you couldn't have long hair.
Boo.
Mr.
Turned Johnny
Steinbrenner.
Damon into a completely different person.
Yeah, I know. They were actually showing a picture of him on SportsCenter earlier, and it was pretty funny.
That's why his career tanked.
Yeah, maybe.
The hair has power, man.
Kind of a Samson thing.
It's the Samson effect. It's real.
But anyway, I say the new owner, but Hal Steinbrenner, Mr. Steinbrenner's son, who's now the owner of the team, he said after years of like conversations, I'm like, bro, how long you been asking these questions? He said after a long period of time, they've now decided that Yankee players can have neatly trimmed beard. But the way you keep yours, you would be eligible. Yeah, for those who still like want to, there's a lot of people these days that like to have like what I call the mountain man beard. I don't know, there probably are different nicknames for it, or the ZZ Top beard or some such, that at least two of the three members of ZZ Top always wore.
Almost matching.
So anyway, ironically enough, Frank Beard is the drummer for ZZ Top, and he was the one who didn't wear
He was beardless.
a beard. Yeah. Billy and Dusty were the others. So,
Very ironic.
fun fact. All right, so yesterday, and really all week long, we have a short amount of time, so we're going to kind of get this thing rolling here. I want to get into a little bit of just what we've done. Then we're going to have our fun exercise here. But this week, the Southeastern Conference athletics directors and some football coaches and Big Ten athletics directors and football coaches and the two commissioners and some of their top staffers all got together and met collectively and individually, if you will, like conference by conference in New Orleans. And most of what they were doing was about the college football playoff. A lot of it was about how each of them were viewing the House versus NCAA settlement. And I think they want to be as aligned as possible in everything as we move into a new CFP era starting in 2026. As most of you now know, the Southeastern Conference and Big Ten have there's like a memorandum of understanding that everybody, including Big 12 and ACC, have signed that allows the SEC and Big Ten to grab a larger share of the television money from the college football playoff. They're more than likely going to be the ones to put forth most of the rules. And starting next year in 26, those proposals don't have to be agreed upon or ratified, if you will, unanimously. It'll just take a majority of the 11 entities that vote. Those 11 are the Power 4 conferences, the Group of 5 conferences, 6 of them now. I don't know where the Pac-12 really fits
it's non-existent.
in. But it's going to come back, right? It's just not going to be a power conference. But from what I understand, they're working towards at least getting 8. And the name needs to stay, or again, just incorporate the WAC, something. I don't care, Mountain West, do something, but the name needs to
call it the Pac whatever. I mean,
and look, I'm not convinced that like if they do okay, like Southern Cal and UCLA, Oregon and Washington, I'm afraid they're gone for good.
Oh, they're gone forever. Yeah, this is a permanent move.
But could I see the Arizona schools going back to that one day? Maybe not. Yeah. But we'll talk about that later. We don't have enough time today. So, they've been meeting, and amongst the things they've discussed are like the Southeastern Conference on its own. Hey, should we go to 9 games? Now, you've heard that refrain before. Feels like most people believe yes, fans and even maybe most schools, but not all schools. Then collectively, hey, should we have an SEC Big Ten football challenge? Because we can make a lot of money. Yesterday, Elijah and I on the program, if you missed it, cited an article from Scott Dockerman of The Athletic, who pointed out that over the last 3 full football seasons, there were 220 combined games that featured at least one SEC or Big Ten school, plus their conference games, 220 of them that had at least 3.5 million people watch. Conversely, for that same number of viewers, 3.5 million over the last 3 years, there were 77 such games that involved Big 12 or ACC schools. That's not to say that their product isn't good. It isn't enjoyable. I believe that it is, but I'm a college football fan. But the TV networks want the biggest matchups. They want the best matchups. They want the matchups people are more inclined to tune in for. And it's pretty obvious that the Big Ten and SEC combined, again, have roughly 3 times more of those kind of games than, that's just one metric. But it's, as you and I talked about yesterday, that's a fact. It isn't like your buddy at the bar going, "Hey, I think there's better games in the SEC and Big Ten," and then another buddy going, "Oh, I don't know, man." Like, these are facts. They've measured them. So this is more like the result of it. Not a, "Oh, I tell you what, if so and so wasn't hurt 5 years ago in that game, that team would have won," and that's a fact. No, that's an opinion. It might be. It's a good opinion potentially.
It's the hypothetical that the SEC has never lost.
Right.
Undefeated in the hypothetical matchups, man. I have yet to see a hypothetical matchup where they have failed to win.
So that's the setup, and we have thrown out a poll question. Now, yesterday we threw this out, and then I redid it this morning. If you're a Gamecock football fan, would you be in favor of 9 conference games, a Big Ten Challenge game, and the Clemson game each season? That's 11, and then your 12th, at that point you might want to play, with all due respect, like the Pelion JV team, just to make sure you get a win. I don't know. And this, I did want to point out, and I did this morning on Twitter, this type of thing, other than a Clemson game, would apply to all schools. So everybody's going to play 9. Like Carolina's just going to play. The whole SEC is going to play 9, and a 10th game with a Big Ten school involved. As we know, 4 schools in the SEC have an ACC opponent they play every year in state, and those aren't going away either. So Kentucky and Florida and Carolina and Georgia will keep their in-states. So this would apply across the board as much as possible. Now, would the SEC, mandate another P4 game for everybody else in addition to the Big Ten game? That might get a little murkier. And then Carolina and Florida and Kentucky and Georgia would have to stand up and lobby for that, just to make sure everything is as even-keeled as possible. But anyway, so would you be in favor of that? Yes, that's big time. No, that's too hard. Today's poll, 56.2%, yes, that's big time. 43.8%, no, that's too hard. Then yesterday, let me get to that. It was same question when we did it, 57.9, 42.1. So we're in that 57-43 range for a few hundred of you that have participated. Thank you. So with that in mind, would there be an SEC Big Ten challenge? Like that's that, because you know who you're going to play in the SEC. Well, at least you think you do. And
you do at least 1 year in advance.
Yeah, and you know who Clemson is if you're a Gamecock fan. But what Elijah and I are going to do when we come back is we're going to have a television draft of what we believe, if there were going to be one this coming season, what an SEC Big Ten football challenge would look like. We have matchups. We're going to read you the matchups. Then we're going to have a TV executive draft. Do you have a coin?
I do. A 2020 American quarter right here in my hand.
Beautiful. Because I just stay tuned for that. There's a couple of really intriguing matchups that could potentially happen. Again, they won't. This is all hypothetical, but we'll tell you how we're going to do it and have some fun with this. So stay tuned. You're listening to the Postgame Show. Love telling you about our good friends at Cato's Power Equipment, where they have been located 4012 West Beltline Boulevard since 1983. Listen, today's the kind of day where you can get some really good yard work done, right? But you're going to need to be doing that really soon here. So whether it's getting the lawn cut, trimming the hedges, maybe getting those low-lying limbs down from the trees that are causing problems, see Cato's for excellent sales, service, and advice. Maybe you've got some equipment that you love, want to make sure it's nice and tuned up for the spring and summer. Sales department, second to none, and they're quick, man. Get it in, get it out, especially those of you who do it for a living. You need to know that you are ready to go and be as efficient as possible. And they're going to do all of that for you at Cato's. I can't wait to go get some of my new equipment. Been talking to Ben Cato about that this week. And pretty soon I'm going to be tearing it all up in a good way, I promise. 4012 West Beltline Boulevard, always online, catospowerequipment.com. Nineteen minutes after 3 o'clock on this Friday. Typically, I let this bump go a little longer, but I'm crunched for time, so just have to talk over Keith and the boys. Welcome back in. Jay and Elijah with you here on this Friday. Many of you may be in the car right now or enjoying a beautiful afternoon. It's a little chilly, but a beautiful afternoon in the capital city. 48 degrees, having a little tailgate ahead of Carolina and Milwaukee. Appreciate you tuning in. Be safe out there today. Bundle up because it'll get cold once the sun goes down. Guaranteed.
It'll get a little chilly.
A little PSA for you. All right, so again, could there be eventually an SEC Big Ten football challenge? I certainly hope so. I don't know how long it's going to take, and it won't be in 2025. And there could be a number of ways that they may want to do this. But for today's purposes, Elijah and I have discussed this, and we believe that the best way for the two conferences to do this would not be to schedule them years in advance and just do all you can for the, big names versus big names and some kind of trickle-down effect, but instead match them up based on last year's conference regular season standings. All right? So that's what we've done. So in this case, you're going to hear me say that Texas is the number one in the SEC and Georgia is number two. Yes, I know Georgia won the Southeastern Conference Championship game, but again, we are basing it for this exercise on the final regular season standings. And it does mean that two schools, Maryland and Purdue, will not be available to play in our hypothetical matchups.
Sorry, Terps.
Yeah, I'm a little sorry about that for my Terps because, again, I was a tuition-paying parent of the University of Maryland. But I'm not anymore, so it's okay. So here we go. Here's the matchups first, and then we're going to tell you how we're going to do this. And then we're going to have a TV draft. All right? You want me to start at the bottom and go up? Or you want me to start at the top and go down?
We can go top
Top
to
down?
bottom.
All right,
Yeah.
top down. Texas versus Oregon. No, that's the one line. The two line. Georgia versus Penn State.
This will be at Penn State. So for the television purposes,
Yeah,
Oregon
what
will
we've
be
done.
at Texas.
Yeah, what we've done here. The odd numbered one. We flipped a coin.
Yes.
For that.
During the
Off
break.
air. Off air. We'll flip a coin for the pick in a minute live on air. But off air, we flipped a coin. So the odd numbered games, 1, 3, 5, 7, et cetera, will be at the SEC site. And then the even numbered games will be at the Big Ten site. That's yeah. So there you go. So Texas hosting Oregon. Number 2, Georgia at Penn State. 3, Tennessee hosts Indiana. 4, Bama at Ohio State. Ding, ding, ding. There's a big one.
That's a big one, yeah.
5, LSU hosting Illinois. 6, South Carolina at Iowa. I love that.
So this will
I'm
be at
so
Iowa
serious.
in this.
I'm so serious. I love that.
That'd be a really good game.
7, A&M hosts Michigan. 8, Mississippi at Minnesota. They could just take the river. Straight up.
Love it. They should
Dude, that would
transport
actually,
there.
how bleeping cool would that be if you were an Ole Miss fan?
And just take
Take a river cruise
the
like
river.
on, I don't know how long it takes, but that would be so awesome.
That's how the team should get there.
That would be so awesome. I want to do that now regardless. I just want to do that. I'm just going. 9, Missouri hosts Southern Cal. Right?
Yes.
Yes.
Missouri hosts Southern Cal.
Sorry, yes. Got confused for a second. 10, Florida at Rutgers.
Ooh, dreary game.
11, Arkansas hosts Washington. 12, Vandy at UCLA. The next one may be the biggest one on the list. Nebraska at Oklahoma. Wow.
Yeah.
They love that.
Reviving the old Big 12.
14, Auburn at Michigan State. 15, Kentucky hosts Wisconsin. That's sneaky good. And finally, 16, Mississippi State at Northwestern. Again, Maryland and Rutgers did not qualify for the event. So those, again, that would be a hypothetical 2025 SEC Big Ten football challenge based on direct line-for-line matchups of the regular season standings in each conference. So now, Elijah and I are going to have a TV draft. I'll let you, you've got the coin, so that's going to give you the opportunity. I'll just have to trust that whatever it is, you're right.
Yes.
Or you're not lying.
And we are rival TV execs. So think of us as Fox and
Which one do you want to be?
I'll be the mouse.
Okay. All right. I kind of wanted to be, but that's fine.
Yeah, well, I beat you to it. So
All right.
All right.
I'll be
I am the man with the coin here.
You are. So
I'll let you call it then. You call it in the air.
All right. Tails.
It is tails.
All right. So I
Never
get to go
fails.
first.
Well done.
Well, then it's a no-brainer, right? I mean, if I get to pick first,
What you do?
and there's 3 fantastic, like, just stand above all other matchups in my opinion.
I know where you're going with this, though.
Yeah, I'm taking Alabama at Ohio State.
Okay. Very nice. Yeah, you can take Alabama at Ohio State. And then I will take the conference champions from last year. I'll take Texas hosting Oregon.
Okay. Actually, there's 4 because I wasn't even thinking about that one. All right, so you got Texas, Oregon.
Yes.
That one's off the board. Next, you might think Elijah Campbell. You might think that I would go next for that Oklahoma-Nebraska game, but I will not.
That one's going to be taken higher than where it is listed in terms of like the standings
It
of
will.
teams.
But I am going to take Georgia at Penn State.
Yeah, it's a good call. Good call. Loaded network here. I think where I'm going to go with this, well, here's the thing about Oklahoma and Nebraska is they both stink, right? So it's one of those like, yeah.
But people will tune in, man.
People will tune in. I'm going to go Texas A&M and Michigan.
Good game.
That will end up being a very evenly matched game. That one's going to be at College Station.
Right.
Would look good under the lights. We'll take that one.
Now it gets tricky. I mean, you're leaving it there for me.
I am.
Then I'm taking it. Yeah. So
I'll let you reach for that.
Give me Oklahoma. That's Oklahoma hosting Nebraska.
Yes, that one is going to be in Norman.
Yep. All right.
That will leave me, actually a good game under the lights at Death Valley. Give me LSU and Illinois.
Yeah, that's sneaky good.
Because Illinois' 10-win season.
Yeah.
They got a little bit of momentum.
Yeah.
A program I don't want to, completely on the rise because they have a long way to go to repeat that. But a night game at LSU does numbers on television.
I agree.
So as an exec here, I'll take that.
Now, again, we're doing this hypothetically for 2025 based on the 2024 standings, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then next, I'm going to take South Carolina going to Iowa and Lenora Sellers going up against that Iowa defense in Iowa City.
Good call.
Because I think the amount of hype that will be around Lenoris going into the season, and assuming these games will be played in September.
Yes.
Like, hey, can Lenora Sellers go up against the Hawkeye defense? Like that's something to tune in for because he's a top 10 Heisman candidate.
Yeah.
So give me South Carolina at Iowa.
That was next on my board. I'll take Tennessee and Indiana. Get a game at Neyland Stadium. Indiana, I don't think will replicate their success. So that one, even though it was third in standings, I kept that a little lower on my board.
But the intrigue early, again, assuming for our hypothetical purposes that that's a game that's played in September.
Yes.
Could be like, here's 2 playoff teams.
Now,
which one of them is ready to do it again?
Point. That's a really good point. I will say this. I will not have taken it, though, if the coin flip went the other way and Indiana was hosting.
I hear you. Okay.
Just because, an environment thing. Yes, Indiana had some good environments last year once people realized they had a football team that was winning football games.
Yep.
But I will take the home environment in the SEC.
All right, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, that's 8. So we're gonna pause here. That's 8 of the 16 games. So we will come back with the rest of our TV draft.
With you on the clock.
I'm on the clock, and we'll continue it and see what happens here. All right, so that's fun. This is I wish they were actually doing this.
This would be awesome.
We should send this.
Great.
We should send this to the league offices.
I mean, I will send this entire video of this entire show to the league office and say, look how much fun you could have.
You're listening to a special edition of the Postgame Show. We are having some fun with a hypothetical SEC Big Ten football challenge as we get you closer to Carolina baseball, just a few minutes away from that. Welcome back in. Jay and Elijah with you. So what we've done, if you're just tuning in, we have paired these games up 1 through 16 based on last year's regular season standings. And so far, we have picked 8 of the 16 games. So we're going to finish, and then we'll run over all the games again and who's got what. And Elijah and I are playing the roles of TV execs in a draft. And so I got to go first. And we picked 8. So I picked 4. Elijah has picked 4. Next on my list, there's some good ones that are still left here.
There are.
But again, this is all hypothetical. So it's what it would look like in 2025, not just names on the front of the shirt and helmets. All right. We're trying to think of it as what it would look like next year. So with that in mind, sir, even though one of these teams, it's not the greatest matchup, but I'm taking Vanderbilt at UCLA.
Ooh, that was sneaky good
with Diego Pavia going out and playing in the Rose Bowl Stadium. I think that's a good TV matchup because Diego Pavia is going to make a name for himself. So
star rising.
Yeah, he's not going to be an NFL dude. Yeah. You know, might be the best Canadian quarterback in like a Canadian league. I don't know where he's going to play.
Future Toronto Argonaut.
Perhaps.
Diego Pavia. Yeah,
but I will take Vandy at UCLA next.
Now, I like to take the prettier venues, which is why I definitely had UCLA Vandy on the radar, but I'll take Mizzou Southern Cal at Mizzou.
Yep.
Mostly because that would be a very even matchup, I feel like. I think that would
Which is crazy to say.
That would be a great 3:30 game on my network.
I hear you. All right. So Elijah's got that one. Give me next Wisconsin at Kentucky.
Oh, good one.
Again, sneaky good. That's the 15 game. That's where they both finished last season. But the final score might be 6-3, but it could be intriguing.
It could be. I mean, it will be the most fun, intriguing rock fight you've ever seen because it's a great rematch of the 2015 Final Four.
There you go.
Let's be real with ourselves here. Go. I'm going to go Arkansas, Washington, and I'm going to put that one square at noon.
All right.
That one's going to be at noon on Peacock.
There you go. No, you're Disney. You get them all on your...
That's right. Sure,
yeah, you're the mouse.
Just kidding. I forget.
Sorry.
I'm the mouse. I get to be the mouse. This is great. Just kidding. Okay, yeah, no, it's...
Oh, I should have done that.
That one's ESPN2. ESPN2.
Okay.
Noon ESPN2.
All right. So what do we have left here? We have Mississippi, Minnesota left. We have Florida, Rutgers left. We have Auburn, Michigan State, and we have Mississippi State and Northwestern. Oh, boy. Give me... Gosh... You know what? Give me that game I was talking about, man. Give me Ole Miss going to Minnesota. And again, we're going to sail up the Mississippi
River game
to the Twin Cities, man. That's right. We're going to sail all the way up to the top of the river and have some fun with that one. So there you go.
I will take.
I really would like to do that. That would be cool as hell. Man.
That would be a lot of fun for any game.
Just a take a
party
boat.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know how long that takes.
Could you imagine doing a radio show on a riverboat going to?
Dude, I don't know. Just get on at Memphis. Like, just drive over to Memphis, right?
Uh-huh.
And get on up and go up the river. Oh, man.
See, now you have a good idea for your pregame show.
Yeah.
Like your TV pregame show.
That would be awesome.
On a riverboat.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go kind of towards the bottom of the barrel here, but I will go Auburn at Michigan State.
All right.
Brands over production here, really.
Yeah, and some of these are. Like, again, the Oklahoma-Nebraska game. All right, so we're down to 2, huh? State and Northwestern, Florida, and Rutgers. You know what? Give me Jeff Lebby's offense going to Northwestern and playing in Chicago.
Ooh.
Yeah, why not? Why not? I'll give you DJ Lagway.
Okay, this leaves me with Florida and Rutgers. I will say I did not expect Florida Rutgers to be the last pick in this draft.
Yeah, it might just be Rutgers.
I think that I'm going to put Florida at Rutgers on ESPNU.
Okay.
And that one's actually going to be at 11. So it's going to be during the last hour of college game day.
Put it on the Ocho at 3 a.m.
It's going to be on the Ocho. ESPN plus which is a subscription service you don't actually have to pay for.
That's right.
It's free.
They give it to you.
You get to watch Florida Rutgers.
So there you go. So again, if you just tuned in, here are the games, and then we'll tell you which ones we picked. But the games in order were Oregon at Texas, Georgia at Penn State, Indiana at Tennessee, Bama at Ohio State, Illinois at LSU, Carolina at Iowa, Michigan at A&M, Ole Miss at Minnesota, Southern Cal at Missouri, Florida at Rutgers, Washington at Arkansas, Vandy at UCLA, Nebraska at Oklahoma, Auburn at Michigan State, Wisconsin at Kentucky, Mississippi State at Northwestern. And again, those are 1 through 16 in each conference based on regular season standings last season. So I've got on my networks Georgia, Penn State, Bama, Ohio State, Carolina, Iowa, Ole Miss, Minnesota, Vandy, UCLA, Oklahoma, Nebraska, Kentucky, Wisconsin, and Mississippi State and Northwestern. And then Elijah has Texas and Oregon, Tennessee, Indiana, LSU, Illinois, A&M, Michigan, Mizzou, Southern Cal, Florida, Rutgers, Arkansas, Washington, Auburn, and Michigan State. Dude, seriously, hey, this was a lot of fun. I know we're about to get out of here. I hope that the powers that be recognize that just two schlubs in Columbia having some fun with this can prove to you real quick how intriguing these things can be.
Yeah, how a full day of football of this could be. I mean, like you do all this on the same weekend.
If you did it all on the same weekend, that seems like a lot. But if you did it over 8 games one weekend and 8 games the next, perhaps,
even put some games on like a Friday night. I mean, because the Big Ten's putting some games on the Friday night.
They do have Friday games.
You being Fox, I mean, you could easily put. I mean, why wouldn't Kentucky, Wisconsin be a good Friday night game?
Right, and even maybe. I mean, look, do it on a Thursday. Before the NFL season starts. If you want to do this early, then you just go. You own the first 3 nights of the year, man.
Run with it right there.
Put a couple games on Thursday, a couple on Friday, then the bulk of them on Saturday. That'd be a whole lot of fun, man.
That'd be incredible.
Yeah. So check out the poll question if you want to vote. We're going to talk more about this next week. Got a lot of comments, and I appreciate that. But this is fun, and I really do hope that soon enough we get to that. Do want to remind you after the weekend that Coach Paul Maneri will be with us on Monday's program. We got a lot of hoops to discuss as well. So you tell me when I need to stop talking, and I'll stop talking.
You have like 10 seconds, partner.
And then we'll get out of here. All right. Enjoy Derek and Stuart on the call. Have a safe and enjoyable weekend. Stay warm. For Elijah, I'm Jay. See ya.